Welcome to the new audio podcast with Gelmi. Take off now and boost your efficiency in leadership, teamwork, and customer contact. Today's topic is the importance of role awareness.
Do you ever feel like you cannot really disconnect from work? Do you ever feel like work is following you wherever you go? Into your private life, after work, into your weekends, and maybe even into your vacations? That you can never really detach and disconnect from all the topics and the tasks and the problems that you have on your plate in your role at work? Well, of course you're in good company with that, because in times when pressure on the individual coworker increases dramatically, it's only normal, unfortunately, that detaching and disconnecting from work has become a major challenge for many of us. Now, I would like to introduce you to a very simple approach, which may make it more easy for you to actually detach from work, and find ways to really recharge outside of work in order to be even more engaged and capable to deal with all the challenges at work when you're back at work. And the approach is called increased role awareness. So, what is this all about? You see, if you look at yourself, at who you are as a person, as a whole, with everything that makes you unique as a person in your private life, and you then look at your reality at work, then we could compare this to a playing field. Or in other words, every day when you get out of the house and go to work, you could look at that as if you would go into or onto a playing field, entering a game that carries the name of your organization, a game that is played based on specific rules, some of them which are defined in the working contract, some of them are defined by rules and regulations that you have to adhere to, some of them by company culture or by policies that are in place. And in this game that is being played based on that set of rules, there are specific roles. The roles that actually play the game, the players, if you wish. So when you enter the game, you enter your role and play the game all day based on the rules and to the best of your abilities, because in the end of the day, that's what you're paid for. Or you could also take the example or the analogy of an actor that rides to the opera house on his bike, and once he gets there, he goes into the makeup, he puts on his costume, and he enters his role mentally, goes out onto the stage and plays his role dramatically, authentically, and with an impact. What the actor does after the play is done is to take off all the makeup, put the costume and put it on the hanger, and ride back home on his bike, becoming the private person again that he is, getting out of the role again. And this is the crucial aspect of this whole approach, that once you are aware that this is just a role, you can also more easily step out of the role again when you go back home. In the evening, after work is done, on the weekend, and especially during your vacations. I once read an interview with the CEO of a large multinational corporation, and he was asked, how do you actually do it? You are responsible for hundreds of thousands of employees in your global corporation. At the same time, you are a partner, a husband, a father to your children. How do you all bring this together or keep it apart? How do you do it? And his answer was pretty straightforward. He said, look, it's very easy. From Monday morning to Friday evening, I am in my role fully, 100% and more, and I'm available for my organization. From Friday evening to Monday morning, I am off the role. I am a private person. I'm a husband and father. And there are only very few people who have the right to contact me during the weekend, and only in a very limited and specific number of cases. So this 100% on and 100% off approach proves to be very effective when it comes to disconnecting, detaching from work, and fully savoring your private life that happens outside of work. And many of us are very good at being 100% on, or even 120 or even more % on. But we seem to have a hard time to really be 100% off, to be just as off as we are on. So whenever you can, make yourself aware of the role you enter and the game you enter when you go to work. This doesn't mean that you don't identify with the role. It's just a more conscious way of being fully on versus fully off. And there's another big advantage of such an increased role awareness. For some years, I have done outplacement consulting. So what that is I supported leaders, managers that were invited to look for another job in their professional realignment and reorientation. And what I experienced was different personalities, of course, different ways of dealing with such a challenging situation when you were asked to leave, simply put. And what I observed was that the higher the identity that a person has derived from the role, the bigger the big black hole the person fell into after they were asked to leave. Or in other words, if you connect all, or if you derive all your identity, your self-concept, the idea of who you are from your role, who's left when you are asked to leave the role? Who is left? Who are you when you have to return your company car and your business cards? Who's left? So it's a good thing to identify with the role, and I recommend you choose a role that is easy for you to identify with. Not something that you have to really make a big effort every day to play the role authentically and effectively, but something that is easy for you to step into every day. So whenever you can, make yourself aware of the role. Choose to step into the role fully and to step out of the role fully again as well. And there's another final advantage to that. With a high role awareness, it also tends to become easier to deal with all the problems and issues and conflicts that you're exposed to during a work week. If you have this angry customer yelling at you, with a high role awareness, you may see and understand that in this particular moment, it's not about you. It's not you that this person is attacking, but instead it's the role you are currently in. You know, there's this company letter, there's the company name written on your forehead in this situation. You are the company for this specific customer, and it's your role that he's talking to. It's not you as a person. So when you go home this evening, when you go into your weekend next Friday, try to consciously step out of the role and go back into your role Monday morning, 100%. My wish for you is that this impulse will help you increase your personal effectiveness. Yours, Thomas Gelmi.